Hello, McVeigh Dragons. Welcome to Mr. Thornley's music class, Volume 10. This is for second grade. Last week we worked on harmony and we talked about polyphonic texture, and you had to put a counter melody to the original melody for Circus Parade, the song I played last week. Hopefully you were able to do that. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. I want to go ahead and kind of do a complete review of the year just a little bit. So we started with beat, and we talked about steady beat and meter. So I'm going to go over the meters that we worked on. We worked on meters of 2, 3, and 4. It's my beat. So meter of 2 would be loud, soft, loud, soft. And then we worked on 3, loud, soft, soft, loud, soft, soft. 4, that will be loud, soft, medium, soft. Loud, soft, medium, soft. And then we also talked about our rhythm patterns to play over top of our steady beat and meter. We have pie, apple, gooseberry, huckleberry, apricot, strawberry, and pot pie pot. Which one is this? Okay, hopefully you said gooseberry. How about this one? Hopefully you said pot pie pot. This one? Hopefully you said apple. This one? Yep, strawberry. All right. How about this one? Okay. Apricot. I'm not sure if I'd see. How about this one? Okay, it's easy, right? It's the pie pattern. Okay. And if I forgot anything, just look at off the earlier videos because I think I stuck it on there. We did this routine earlier in the video series. But keep these in mind. Keep practicing rhythm patterns. Keep thinking about the meters. In the winter, we started working on melody. Okay. And we started off with notes that move by step, leap, repeat. And we learned those by listening to a scale, which is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It's a major scale. And it's also a flight of stairs. We said music kind of cycles 7 different notes, and then the 8th note of the scale is going to be the octave. So it's like an octave is like a flight of stairs, and we start another octave. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. There's your flight of stairs. One kind of like a high-rise building, an apartment that's got like flight of stairs there and this way and that way. Kind of like that, you know. And anyway, this is just one set of stairs or flight of stairs that we had to practice listening for steps, least repeated notes. Now this is stepping, and you're stepping up. This would be stepping down. You also have leaps. It's leaping up, leaping down, and we have repeated notes. Okay, so we practice listening for that, and we'll do that again in the fall. But once you have so many notes that move by step, leap, repeat, you want to create phrases. But it is very important to be able to hear whether a melody is stepping, leaping, or repeating the notes. Phrases are made up of those notes, okay, and they have a beginning and an end. You're making a musical sentence out of notes. And I gave you an example like Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. It's a phrase. Stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Phrase. And then once you have about 4 phrases, it could be more or less, but 4 is the most common number, you create a section, which is like a musical paragraph. All right, and once you have your sections, hopefully you create a couple sections if you're writing a song, and you put them in a certain order or arrangement, and that's called form. Like you have A, B, A, B, A, B. That would be A, B form, or A, B, A, A, B, A, A, B, A. It's A, B, A form. So you have your sections, you have your form. We also talked about note reading, and just refer to the earlier videos about note reading. We worked on what the patterns look like written down on the staff, the rhythm patterns like strawberry and all that. We also worked on the rhythms that get more than one beat, like a half note and a dotted half and a whole note. And also, like I said, work on reading the letters. That's the pitches. The pitch is the letter. Like treble clef staff, F-A-C-E. All right, for the spaces. The bass clef staff, I mean the treble clef lines. Every good boy does fine, E, G, B, D, F. And I'm not sure with you guys. I don't know if I started the bass staff with you. I might have mentioned it. The spaces for the bass clef staff. So if you see the grand staff, that's both staffs together, one on top of the other. The bass clef staff would be spaces A, C, E, G for all cows eat grass, and the lines would be good boys do fine always, G, B, D, F, A. But we'll work on more on the bass clef staff next year, okay? But keep looking at those prior videos, the earlier videos, and look at that and practice the note reading, okay? Then we switched our attention to harmony, and we said a melody with no harmony being played is monophonic texture. So if I sang, "Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O," there's no harmony, it's just a melody. So that would be monophonic texture. Now if I added in chords or an ostinato as I sang it, then it would be homophonic texture, we said. And then last week we started polyphonic, which is more than one melody in the same song at the same time. And there's 3 ways we talked about that, how to do that. One is rounds. And that's if, say we're doing row your boat, and I started the round, and I went row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. And when I got to merrily, 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 life is but a dream, you started row your boat. When I sang merrily, you started row your boat. We wouldn't be singing the same notes at the same time, nobody's singing the same words. And if I started first, I would finish the song first. Say we did it 3 times through, and you would follow me. But it's like taking one melody and making it into 2 melodies. So that's a round. Another way is partner songs. If I wrote a song and you wrote a song and we used the same chords in our songs and they changed at the same time, I can take your melody and my melody, put them together, and they're going to create harmony. And what we did for Circus Parade last week, and that's when you have a second melody written for the song. And Circus Parade only had that one brief moment of polyphonic texture, the way I did it, and you had to listen to it and then figure it, and then I showed you how to add it in, the counter melody. Hopefully you did that okay. But it was only that one brief moment it was polyphonic. Other than that, it was homophonic, because I just had chords as I sang the melody. I'm going to finish this is volume 10, finish our series with talking about other ways to make some harmony. If you notice when we went over You've Got a Friend in Me, I talked about walking bass lines and fills. Okay, well you take the scale that I taught you, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, ti, do, and you can, if you're in the key of C major, or you take that scale and you can create nice little parts that are in between the melody line or whatever. That's called fills. Or in between the chords, you can have a little bass line that either walks up or down. Okay, that's walking bass. There's all kinds of things you can do. I'm going to play a song, just a little bit of it, by the Beatles called And I Love Her. And it's a really pretty song. And I'm going to show you how I use some of these things. First of all, it's going to start off with a bass line like that. And it's going to go between an A minor chord and an E minor chord. And if I play the notes of a chord like this, that's a block chord. If I play like this, that's called an arpeggio. Of course, people should know that. Arpeggio is one note of the chord at a time. So it's kind of going to do that between these 2 chords. So it starts like this. I'm going to go ahead and play through it, and I'll break the song down afterwards. Okay. All right. So I played a lot of nice little things there, and I did a lot of arpeggios, and I added notes from the scale. Sometimes you heard this. I'm doing the arpeggio, but I added some other notes in the scale included with the chords. And of course, you heard that little bass line that connected the chords like this for the first part. All right, notes of the scale here, and then back to the little bass line. Okay, that was E minor. Now it's A minor. Back to E minor, little what's called a hammer on from notes in the scale, and then I did this little. All right, now these notes are part of a G chord or an E minor chord. They're in both, and I'm doing this little. I'm just walking down the scale, and now I'm getting ready to play the melody with the chords. Here's your arpeggio, and then I went like this. I just did the scale, and I just did the arpeggios, and I'm just running up real quickly. And then you saw me do something like, these are called slurs, or also for guitar players they call them hammer-ons and pull-offs, but they're, in technical musical terms, they're slurs. Instead of picking every note, I went, okay, but I used their notes from the scale. Back into the melody with the chords. Now I'm getting ready to do a C chord for a change with a little walking bass line. Melody included. G chord, still G chord, just different versions of it. And then I went to like that. Okay? So you see, if you mix up and blend, chords, ostinato patterns, fills, and those little things can be called fills too. Even a walking bass line is like a fill. I could go like this. Let's see. Okay, I'm doing all kinds of little fills and little scale runs and that kind of thing. Okay, so if you learn your chords really well and you learn, ostinato patterns and make up your own and add fills in, you can add your own in. You can have written sheet music that already has things written in and play it. That's a written arrangement. Or you could just take the melody and take the chords and create your own in there. Okay. But the more you learn about harmony, the more fun it is to play music. And you can take a very simple melody and add some great harmony. So harmony's been our main focus. In the fall, we're going to go over everything again. Keep looking at my videos that we've done already, the earlier volumes. This is volume 10, so there's a lot of volumes. They're there on the McVeigh YouTube channel, so keep referring back to those. And have a great summer. Okay, be kind to your parents, be respectful, help them around the house, and do your McVeigh best. Okay, have a good summer. Talk to you later.